And I want to ask you to do something. Each of you watching this now, share this video with 10 people minimum. Soon we're going to be having prize giveaways, and let me already tell you, we are in Fiji. We are in the future actually. I like to think about it like that. We are like 13 hours ahead of some people, and I think even more other parts of the world. So we're in Fiji, and unfortunately if you're watching from a VYG far away, the prize giveaways won't include you us sending something to you, but those in Fiji will be able to send something to you if you go to your local VYG location. And if you say, oh, that's not fair, I watched these, I'm faithful to these episodes, and I would like to be included in these prize giveaways. Okay, speak to your youth pastor, and if you win one of the giveaways, then see if he's willing to exchange it for points. You just give us a message, and then we'll even announce you won and how many points we're giving to you, maybe your team point Star Wars or something like that. Obviously your youth pastor has to agree. But here in Fiji, if you're here, you'll get something that you can hold in your hands. All right, and so that's it.
Silly things that Christians say.
All right, welcome back to another episode of Silly Things That Christians Say. And I'm sure you can see we have a bigger team today, because actually this is probably our hottest topic yet. And without further ado, let's go straight into, I'm even surprised actually it's already episode 5, but let's go into the topic for today. What's the silly saying?
Only God can judge me.
So I'm sure you can understand why this is going to be a hot one. Only God can judge me. I've seen people talking about this everywhere for a while, a very long time. A lot of Christians saying this. I've even seen people tattoo it on their arm, and before you get too excited, we're not talking about tattoos today, but only God can judge me. So I'm going to start things off with the first reason why I think this is a silly saying, and then I'm going to call in whoever wants to chip in next. It's a silly saying simply because, as we even spoke about appearance the other time, people judge always by appearance, and every single person makes judgments every day, and you are judged, I am judged, we're all judged every day. Actually, so far that you've been watching this, you've probably made some judgments. Either it's going to be a really interesting topic, or this is going to be something that I'm not really interested in, I'm not going to want to listen to. And that's a judgment. And we do that all the time. So that's the first reason. I'm going to start off a bit easy there. So that's the first reason why I'm going to say this is a silly saying. So over to whoever wants to come in next.
You know what's interesting about this topic? If only God can judge me, everyone has different standards of judging. Everyone has a different level of what they judge people with. And the Bible describes God's standards to be very, very high.
Yes.
So if only God can judge you, my friend, I don't think you have a very...
I don't think some people really understand what they're saying by that, even by what you just mentioned. I don't think people really want God to judge them, because often we see people saying this, and I'm sure one of the things you're going to touch on, a lot of people say this, and it's to do with them doing things that are not quite, acceptable by people around them, or even by the world in general, and then they say, look, it doesn't really matter what you think, because only God can judge me anyway.
It's like a defense mechanism that people put up, like only God can judge me. But as Assistant Pastor Shahil said, if people really were to look and really see in the Bible like what God says, God speaks about the things that he hates, he speaks about things that he doesn't like, and his judgment is pretty harsh. Some of the words you may not understand, but if you really take time to see, you're gonna see that, you have to ask yourself, do you really want God's judgment for certain things? I think people will be quite shocked if they really were to
I'll talk about me personally, like, even though the world can be quite harsh and things like that, if I have to choose between God judging me and the world judging me, I'll choose the world all the time. Because the truth is, I know that I've messed up a lot in life, and like they're both talking about, God is God is perfect, and his standards of judgment are very, very high. But let's go a bit deeper on this whole idea of why people say this. No one just says to themselves, I'm thinking, I'm sitting down, I'm looking at the birds flying around, the sun is shining, butterflies and rainbows, only God can judge me. Is that how it comes up? No. A disagreement, an argument. You go there to a church service, even a VYG meeting, and you hear a deep word, it's talking about your life, or someone coming to you and approaching you because you're doing something that is leading your life in a negative way, in their judgment, in their opinion, and then you come with this defense, only God can judge me. It doesn't really matter what you have to say.
I think many people often want to just see God as love, God as merciful, but they forget about God is being just as well, God is fair. So I think it's that idea as well. No, God is love, not only God can judge me.
Some of you only read the book of Psalms. Move away from there. You only read Psalm 23 every day. If I ask you, do you read the Bible? Oh yes, the Lord is my shepherd. Listen, that's the whole Bible. That would be nice if that was the whole Bible. If the whole Bible was, God is love, that's the whole Bible. Listen, God is love. That's not even a verse. That's just a tiny little phrase. Imagine the millions and millions of words there in the Bible.
Even books dedicated about God's standards.
Yes.
If we go back to like the earlier books, Exodus, Leviticus, and all of those stuff.
Now some people don't even know. What's Exodus? They think it's a hair shop or something.
My God.
So many people don't know what these things are. Exactly what you're saying. There's books like that.
There's books dedicated, and God is very blunt. He's very clear about what He wants His standards to be.
Do you know what I want you to do actually right now? If you say this, I'm going to invite you to read a really short book. Read Malachi. Malachi, God was talking to people like ourselves, people who serve God, priests, or today pastors, whatever you wanna call it. God was talking to them. I want you to read that book, and then afterwards say, yeah, only God can judge me. I doubt. If you don't know where Malachi is, because some people think, that's the name of my cousin Malachi. No, there was a Malachi where your cousin got his name from, and Malachi was a prophet, the last prophet of the Old Testament, the last prophet before Jesus came into the world or John the Baptist started preaching. So read the book of Malachi, then come and say to that person who tried to, tell you out of love as well. A lot of the time the person tried to tell you out of love, look, I don't think what you're doing is quite helpful to you or even people around you. And then you came with only God can judge me. Read the book of Malachi and go to that person and say that again.
And people forget that God also put certain people, even in the past and today, to help to judge, to help make decisions. I mean, even in the workplace, as you were just speaking about out of love, you're judged based on your performance, whether you get promoted, whether you get demoted. It's a review of how you've been. So when you say only God can judge me, let's be realistic. We're judged every day, as you said in the beginning, in school, in the workplace, in life. You yourself are probably still making judgments while this video's been going on.
If you say that I don't like it, that's a judgment.
Yeah.
So then you have to judge yourself and say, oh wait, hold on, no. God has to judge you then, because only God can judge you, and say you're a hypocrite. Because you're judging if you say I don't like it, and even if you say no, I agree, still you're making a judgment, and then God has to judge you as a hypocrite. So actually, what I even want to point out right now is that it's not true. Let's just call it as it is. It's not true. This phrase, only God can judge me, is one of the biggest lies out there now. And the thing is, I have to bring myself back. A lot of the time as I've been talking, we've been discussing this, I've been thinking about people in general. But actually this is about Christians, isn't it? These silly sayings that Christians say. And if you're a Christian and you believe in the Bible, God tells us to make righteous judgments, meaning correct judgments. Now, how are we going to make righteous judgments? We, as human beings, have to look at what the Bible says, His word, God's word, and then we can judge the world around us, and even at times people, if necessary, based on that. I don't think that you that are watching this now, anyone, whichever side of the argument you're on, if you use it or not, I don't think that you are the type of person, when you watch or you hear about a case where there was a person who went out raping and killing loads of people and they got sentenced to life in prison, I don't think you're there saying, oh, the judge shouldn't do that.
Yes.
Only God. What's wrong? Let's call the police.
They'll
Let's call the media.
Horrified.
Oh, only God can judge that rapist. So we should leave him. If God doesn't come down from heaven or send Angel Michael to take him into prison, is that what you do?
I'm sure even if the prisoner themselves says only God can judge me, they say, no, this one needs to be locked away. He's not well. There's something wrong with him.
You know what's interesting about that? Even in the Bible, there were people who didn't want to take God's judgment when it was presented to them by someone else. I can remember there was a story of a prophet, and one day a donkey spoke to him because God said to the donkey, "Speak to the prophet, let him know."
That was actually, I know that case. Yeah, there was a case. The prophet, he was stubborn, wanted to go a certain way. The donkey could see that way that he was gonna go was gonna lead him to die. If you want to know about this story, check it out, read it as well. But then he was going to die, and so the donkey actually started speaking. God enabled the donkey to speak so that the prophet's life could be spared. So God even uses an animal sometimes to make judgments. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. So that's the thing. Again, even going back to the point I was mentioning a while ago, when you hear someone very dangerous ends up in prison because of a judgment made by a judge, a judgment made by a jury, and if you say it's a judge, I don't agree with, okay, the jury then, they don't have the job 9 to 5 of a judge, that's just them going in, members of the public like you as well, and then they decide that person needs to be locked away because they're dangerous, especially if they live in your country. Especially if you find out in the news article they live in your area, you say, thank God, oh that's wonderful, great, they made a good decision, me and my family are safer. You don't say jury, let me find out who these jury members are because they shouldn't be judging. You don't do that, you are happy. So I don't believe only God can judge me is a thing that Christians should say, because normally it's said by people, and even people who don't even believe in God, as a way to try and justify living a reckless life. And let me tell you this, whether you like it or not, your lifestyle is going to judge yourself. And by that I mean, if you live anyhow and really terrible things happen, your life turns in a complete mess. Don't turn and look to God, look to yourself, and actually you should have been judging yourself better and listening when people try to help you as well. So
we judge ourselves.
We have to judge ourselves. We have to. And if you judge yourself, obviously, as you do every day, even you again, who say only God can judge me, you are going to find out that you can always improve, and you should listen to people that want to help you. All right, and so that's it for this episode. I hope it was helpful to you. And remember, we're not trying to criticize and put people down with this. We just want you to think more as a Christian. We live in a world where people just talk and their words have an impact, usually in a negative way. But if you, Christian, watch what you say, you can help to change that situation. So until next time, God bless you all. Take care.